far below the surface of the Pacific, where sunlight never reached and sound traveled farther than sight, a war was being fought that few civilians would ever understand. There were no headlines, no victory parades, only steel hulls, ticking clocks, and men holding their breath in the dark. This is the story of USS Tang, the most lethal American submarine of World War II, and the crew that turned silence into a weapon. Won the war beneath the waves by 1943, Japan's war depended on the sea. Its factories, armies, and cities survived only as long as ships could deliver oil, food, ammunition, and reinforcements across thousands of miles of ocean. Lose the shipping lanes, and the empire would slowly suffocate. American naval planners understood this clearly. While aircraft carriers and battleships fought the visible war, submarines were tasked with something colder and more methodical: starve Japan into defeat. Every ship sunk was a factory shut down. Every tanker lost was an army left without fuel. Submarines didn't need to win battles. They needed to make the enemy bleed quietly. 2. A boat built to kill USS Tang was launched in 1943, part of the new Naval-class submarines, stronger, deeper diving, and deadlier than anything that had come before. Her pressure hull was reinforced to survive depths that enemy depth charges were never designed to reach. She carried 10 torpedo tubes, advanced fire control systems, and enough fuel and provisions to remain at sea for months. Comfort was never a priority. Space was tight. Air was stale. Privacy didn't exist. Tang was built for one purpose only: destruction. The man in command, her captain, Commander Richard Kane, was already a legend in the making. He had served aboard USS WWII, one of the most aggressive submarines in the Pacific, and had learned firsthand that hesitation underwater meant death. Kane believed submarines survived by attacking first and disappearing faster than the enemy could react. He rejected caution. He rejected distance. His philosophy was simple: get close, strike hard, vanish. It was a dangerous doctrine, but it worked. 4. Forging the crew before Tang ever fired a torpedo in anger, Kane drilled his crew relentlessly. Emergency dives were practiced until every movement became instinct. Damage control drills were repeated until men could fight flooding blindfolded. Mistakes were not punished, they were corrected. Trust was earned. By the time Tang sailed from Pearl Harbor, her crew functioned less like individuals and more like a single machine. They knew their boat, they knew their captain. And they trusted both with their lives. 5 life inside the steel coffin. Life aboard Tang was brutal. Men slept wherever space allowed, often next to live torpedoes. Fresh water was rationed to the point of absurdity. Clothing was rarely changed. Air grew thick with diesel fumes and sweat. Weeks passed without sunlight, days blurred into nights. Yet morale remained high. Success bred confidence, and confidence bred calm. The men understood something outsiders never could: fear was manageable, doubt was not. 6. First Blood. Tang's first patrol in early 1944 immediately revealed her nature. Kane closed in aggressively on Japanese convoys, ignoring conservative firing distances. Torpedoes were launched at point-blank range. Ships erupted in flame before escorts even understood what was happening. Tang slipped away beneath the waves while confused depth charges exploded far above her. When she returned to Pearl Harbor, the results were undeniable. Japanese shipping had vanished. Tang had arrived. 7. The night hunter. As patrols continued, Tang became infamous. Kane preferred surface attacks at night, using darkness, speed, and surprise. Japanese lookouts often never saw her until torpedoes were already running. Convoys disintegrated in minutes. Escorts chased ghosts. Reports began circulating of a submarine that attacked without warning and escaped without trace. Tang was no longer just sinking ships. She was breaking confidence. 8. Records written in fire. By mid-1944, Tang had shattered every expectation. Entire convoys were destroyed in single engagements. Tankers burned, transports capsized. Survivors were left drifting in darkness. Careful post-war analysis would confirm it. USS Tang had sunk more enemy ships than any other American submarine in the war. Not by luck, not by accident, but through precision, discipline, and relentless aggression. 9. The last patrol in October 1944, Tang sailed on her 5th patrol into the Formosa Strait. one of the most dangerous shipping routes in the Pacific. Enemy defenses were heavy. Escort coverage was dense. Tang attacked anyway. In one night, multiple ships were destroyed. Escorts hunted aggressively, but Tang evaded them again and again. Then, after firing her final torpedo, the unthinkable happened. The torpedo malfunctioned. Instead of running straight, it curved, slowly, fatally, back toward Tang herself. Kane ordered evasive maneuvers, but there was no time. 10. Descent. The explosion shattered the stern. Tang plunged downward, her hull screaming under pressure. Compartments flooded. Lights failed. Men were thrown violently against steel. As Tang settled on the seabed, only a handful of sailors remained alive in the forward compartments. Kane faced the final decision no captain ever wants to make. Abandon ship. One by one, men attempted escape through the flooded tower. Some never surfaced. Kane himself barely survived. The survivors were captured by Japanese forces and endured brutal imprisonment for the remainder of the war. 11. Aftermath and legacy. After the war, Tang's record was confirmed. Commander Richard Kane received the Medal of Honor. USS Tang was officially recognized as the most successful American submarine of World War II. She was lost, but her impact was permanent. Tang proved that submarines could strangle an empire silently. That courage did not require witnesses, and that some of the most decisive battles of the war were fought in darkness, far from history books. Beneath the Pacific, where Tang still rests, her legacy remains unchanged. She did not need to be seen. She only needed to strike.